Welcome back to the Sanchez Entertainment Channel, SEC Sports Talk. We got you covered in basketball playoff news this week. We've also got news on the draft and Major League Baseball, especially the Cardinals, and some fun stuff, a little extras for you as well. Let's start off with the playoffs, guys. You've been watching the NBA playoffs?
Oh, yeah. Every day.
I saw the best game, one of the best games I've seen all season, definitely in the playoffs, between Memphis and the Golden State Warriors. Came down to the last second, shouldn't have. But like I said, if you guys remember in the first podcast, I said I would love to see Memphis. They've got the talent, but the youth. And I always come back to this. Ja Morant down the stretch makes some bad decisions. And you can't fault the guy. He led the game, 34 points, something like, I got it here somewhere. He had 34 points, missed the final layup, but he had 9 rebounds and 10 assists. So it's hard to fault a guy that gets you in the game and then messes up down the stretch. And that's just going to come with maturity. They should have won that game. They were up by 16 at one point, and Golden State didn't do well at all that game. In fact, Draymond Green gets ejected. Did you guys see that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
What'd you think about that call? Fair or not?
I mean, it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as fair as the Jackson Hayes call for Phoenix, like a week ago. But I think it could have went either way, in my opinion.
Well, and originally, Anthony, I don't know if you saw this too. Originally, I missed that he hit him in the face. Everyone just focused on the jersey grab, which I'll tell you, about an hour ago, I heard Draymond Green give his take on it.
He said it was more repetition than it was the actual, what he got ejected for. It just because it kept happening. So.
Well, he denied grabbing the jersey. I totally disagree. I think he's saving face. He said, "Now, come on, did I hit him in the face or did I just nick him? It was more of a nick." And I'm like, "No, you hit him."
Right.
But the fact that he tries to deny grabbing the jersey, he said that his hand just got caught. And then he says he didn't drag him to the floor. After he hit the floor, he's still dragging him. So that's Draymond being Draymond. I totally disagree. I think it was fair that he got ejected because it was really 2 fouls in one. Charles Barkley described it as 2 fouls, both a flagrant one add up to flagrant 2.
Yeah, he already said that, like, he's not going to change the way he is, the way he plays and everything. So, I mean, it's just things you're going to have to, you're going to expect from him. So,
yeah, Steph Curry is looking to reach 500 3-pointers made in the playoffs. He's already number 1 with most 3-pointers in the playoffs, but I think he's just like 5 or 6 away now from reaching 500, which he should do during the series with Memphis. So that's incredible. We're seeing that history being made there. And I'm glad to see that something finally is happening in Memphis. That arena was rocking, man. Those fans were on fire. But the thing that scares me is, as good as they played and as horrible as Golden State played without Draymond Green, they still lost at home. So that scares me.
They needed more players to step up, and the one that really, just stepped up for me was, Jaron Jackson Jr. Like his play was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was on fire.
He had like 10 boards and like 30-some points. Like, I'm a big guy. I love big man. And man, when the big guys play like how they're supposed to play and get those double doubles, triple doubles are nice too, but they get those double doubles, those double-digit rebounds and, double-digit points, man, that makes the game.
Yeah. Well, something new that just was released. Desmond Bane is listed as questionable for Game 2 Tuesday night between Golden State and Memphis due to a back injury. Now, he was down in scoring. Last series in the first round, he averaged 24 points a game, 50% shooting, 48% three-point field goal percentage. That was down from Game 1 against Golden State to 9 points, 30% shooting in Game 1. Now, I don't know when the back injury. It's due to his back, a pulled back muscle, I think is what they're saying. Yeah, it just says back injury on the list. So we're not sure the extent of that, but that would be a huge loss for Memphis, is the way he's been playing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they also have Melton, which could step up. We'll just have to see,
Yeah, they got Tyus Jones. He came in and hit a couple of big 3-pointers.
What's
They
that one?
Concher.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
You have to cut that out, whatever that was.
Concher, yeah.
While I'm looking stuff up, it plays something in the background.
Oh yeah, you started the commercial.
Right.
Yeah, Concher, he's awesome, man. He comes and goes with he's been sent down a couple of times and then back up. But he did great. He came in and did pretty well. I think they needed that rotation to get some rest because these guys were running and playing their hearts out. I mean, when I was watching that game, I thought there's no way that Golden State comes back from this. I was already resting like this is a win. And which, by the way, both of those two teams, my two favorite teams. So I'm kind of pulled each direction. I still think though, the Bucks are going to win it all. Did you guys see that? The self pass that Giannis. I can say this. It's just when I get on here, I can't say his name. Antetokounmpo. No, Antetokounmpo. Yeah, I got it right.
By the end of the playoffs, we can get you just Giannis.
We'll go back to Giannis until I get it straight. But Giannis self pass off the backboard, dunks it. They go on a 23-2 run to win game one. I just think Giannis he's going to be too strong. I mean, look at Boston. They swept Brooklyn and come out on their home court and lose game one. I think that says a lot. And they were dominated. It wasn't really as close as the final score came out to be. Giannis just dominated. So who do you think? I know that was it Nick or Anthony? One of y'all were a big Boston.
I'm big on Boston, but yeah, they just don't have the big guys to stop Giannis. They have the guard and the forward, smaller forward defense. They just don't have the big guy. They can't stop a 6'11" monster like him. They just don't have that guy. So
Marcus Smart limped off the court,
right?
Maybe injured. We don't know what his status is of yet as well. Without Marcus Smart, I really don't see them. And that's a good segue with someone being injured that really changed all the odds is Philadelphia's Joel Embiid. Without him, everybody. I saw the stat line tonight for game one. They give them only a 26% chance of winning the game without Joel Embiid. Do you give them any shot of winning, not necessarily the series, but even a game without Joel Embiid?
I say they'll win one game.
Yeah, without Embiid, yeah, definitely one, two if they're lucky.
Yeah,
I mean, is not. They're not Superman. I guarantee that Philadelphia is going to figure something out. They're going to figure something. They're going to be like, okay, this is what we need to do. Like right now with the game going on, yeah, Philadelphia is down by 10, but like Tobias Harris, he's in there, 23 points, 5 boards. DeAndre Jordan's in there trying to, fill the big shoes of Embiid. Maxi's playing lights out right now. He's at 16 points. And then, of course,
that's
James
what
Harden.
I was going to say. It's going to take. Yeah.
That's the guy that they need. They need to step up. They need the James Harden of the Thunder. They need James Harden of the Rockets. They need that guy.
But that's what everybody's saying, but I totally disagree on that. I don't think you're going to get that from James Harden anymore. I think he is going to be delegated to an assist role, not a scorer, and Maxey is going to become the main guy. If they want any chance, it's going to take Maxey, in which we've seen he's capable. It's going to take Maxey scoring 30-something points a game and Harden going back to the assist role. I don't think he has it. He just doesn't. It's not going to happen. I just don't see it.
I mean, it really doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But, I mean, can't you just win? You know,
Well, he's wishing because this is his one chance to up his stock right here. This is his chance to get when his contract comes up due, and I think it's in a year or so. I can't remember when it ends. Maybe that was a 1-year deal. Regardless, if he does good here, he's going to get paid. If he does not show anything while Joel Embiid is out and they get swept, expect his paychecks to go down when it comes time to sign a new contract.
Well, it's also Anthony's credibility on the line for choosing people to win the playoffs from here on out. So.
I don't hear nothing.
Well, hopefully it gives Isaiah Joe a chance to get into
right.
trash minutes at the end of a game. I would love to see him get in. That would be awesome.
You mean what's going to happen with the Suns?
That's right. They're playing Dallas, and as you see, there's a reason I've got my Dallas gear, my Mavs gear. I think they're going to take game 1. I think Dallas is going to upset the Suns. I'm not saying the series, but I am saying I think they're going to upset them at least in game 1. A lot of people are thinking, as a matter of fact, Nick, you said, what do you think the series was going to be?
I said 4-2. I think it's going to be the same as the first round against Pelicans. So
what do you think, Anthony?
4-3 Dallas. 4-3 Dallas.
I'm saying 4-3 Suns, but I think it is going to go to game 7. I think they're going to take them to game 7 because we know Booker is back for game 1 now.
Lucas.
Well, yeah. If Paul continues to play like he's been playing, I don't think they're going to have much of a chance. Paul is proving he is the best point guard in the league right now.
33 points. He had 33 points to close out. Was it the Pelicans?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Get this. He set a playoff record. This guy's 38 years old. He went 14 for 14 to clinch the win. Hit all of his shots. The thing is, can he continue to do it at that age? The playoffs take a big toll on you.
Right.
It was funny. I was watching that game the other night, and I was thinking to myself, wow, like I remember watching Chris Paul play college ball at Wake Forest. Like I remember watching him play college ball. And I'm like, now what's funny is now he's going against Dallas, whose head coach is Jason Kidd, who I remember watching him play college ball at Cal. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
You're getting old. That's what that is.
Yeah. Well, we can all see it in the gray. Yeah. CP3 is by far in the past 20 years the best point guard the best at his position.
I think he's getting better. I think his decision making is so great now. His experience and all that. I think I would take an experienced Chris Paul over a 25-year-old Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a fun fact about Chris Paul is every team that he's been with, at some point while he's been on the team, he's took to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yep. He's a good leader.
Unreal.
He gets everyone involved. He makes everyone better on his team.
I think he's averaging 12 assists right now in the playoffs, and he only averages like 1.5 turnovers, which is also insane for how often he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Especially in the fourth quarter.
Right.
He would have he averages, I think, 5 turnovers a game or something like that. Something ridiculous.
Here's his stats for the playoffs for the first round: 22 points a game, 22.3, 4.3 rebounds per game, and 11.3 assists.
That 4 rebounds a game is kind of surprising. I don't see him getting that many rebounds, but that's a lot for him.
And he does the things that you don't see, the away from the ball things,
right.
The screens or just putting people in the right position. There's so many intangibles that he does that's not going to show up in stats, and that the only experience comes from like the Magic Johnsons or the Michael Jordans. And he's filling so many things and making that team just taking them to the next level.
Yeah.
So I really think Phoenix gets by Dallas this one. All right, guys, let's vote now. Miami, Philadelphia, who wins that series and in how many, you guys?
You want to go first?
4-3 Philly.
4-3
Still sticking with Philly.
Well, in B, they're saying, in B, they're saying it's possible for him to be back game 3, maybe game 4.
He's going to be reevaluated after game 2.
Like, say if they win tonight, we'll say they win tonight, 1-0, then they can lose the next 2 games and get him back for game 4, or by some miracle, they win 2 games in a row. Well, they get him back for game 5. I mean, game 5.
So do you think, Anthony, they're down 0-3 with Joel Embiid, they can come back and win 4 games in a row and beat Miami with Butler, who's averaging 30 points a game in the first series?
Anything's possible.
I think it would be, so with Embiid, I think it would be 4-3 Philly. I would say 4-3 Philly with Embiid. Without Embiid, I say 4-2 Miami.
Wow, I don't give them 2. Yeah. I think without Embiid, there's I want to say sweep just because Miami is playing so well right now. They're clicking. Right. And if they can stay healthy, I say a sweep. With an injury, maybe Philadelphia gets 1. Yeah, I still think we all agree, though, Miami. Well, no, we don't, I guess.
Without Embiid, I'm not picking Miami. If they even get to game 5 and Embiid comes back, I think Miami's still going to – it's too late at that point if they even make it that far.
Okay, so Anthony's the loner there. Let's go to the next one. Golden State and Memphis. Who wins this one? Memphis the 2 seed, Golden State the 3 seed.
I think Golden State 4-3. I think they'll win, but I think Memphis has the talent to take them the distance. So
yeah,
I'm gonna say 4-2 just because I like Memphis. I like the fire they have. They don't have the experience like Golden State does. They don't have that. I mean. And it proved it the other night. As much as I wanted Memphis to win, because I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, Memphis, to me, this is a must win that they have to win this next game at home, because if they go down 0-2 and then go back to Golden State for the next 2 games, you know how hard that would be to beat Golden State on their home court. Man. I think they have to win this one. I think they'll go down 1-3 because they're gonna lose both at Golden State, and then they're gonna come back and they're gonna have to. I don't know that they can do that. I think losing that game 1 was crucial.
Yeah, I think they don't have the experience to, they don't have the experience in the locker room to, come back from that.
Especially with Jordan Poole playing the way he is playing. He's incredible right now. They're really clicking too right now. So I say Golden State. I want to say 4-3, could be 4. I'm going to stick with 4-3 Golden State.
Okay.
You guys, who you agree with?
I think I said 4-3.
You said 4-3, and Anthony said 4-2.
I said 4-2, and I'm just honestly and truthfully, I am primarily going off of just the lack of experience that Memphis has.
Right.
Playoff.
Boston, Milwaukee, then.
Nah, that's the no-brainer. That's Milwaukee all the way. Milwaukee,
If Marcus Smart's out, definitely Milwaukee all the way. But if he comes back, I see Boston taking that to a 7-game series. I think they're capable of doing that.
I just don't see anyone having. I mean, Horford can't do it. Tatum sure can't do it. They have nothing for Giannis. Like
Giannis.
Yeah, he's just bumping people and just bodying them out of the way and then dunking over them. Without Joel, I think what is their big man? Who is it? Not Joel. I'm sorry. Without
Al Horford's the Celtics big man.
But he's what? And he's just like 6'9", 6'10".
I think he's 6'9". I think he's 6'9". After they did the height readjustment stuff, he's strong. So
they lower the scales in Easy Mart. So now
that was a great game. I think that's a great matchup. I just think they weren't prepared like they should have been. I think they're going to come back with a new plan that's going to make that a closer series. I'm hoping anyway.
I personally think I almost say they're gonna get swept, but I'll say 4-1 Bucks without Marcus Smart, especially 4-1 Bucks are gonna win.
Okay.
So
What do you say, Anthony?
Bucks are going to win. I'm going to say I'll go 4-2.
I agree with that. 4-2 Bucks. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I don't think there's going to be. I don't think there's anyone that's going to just, demolish the other team. That usually does not happen, especially this far in the playoffs. So
yeah, I am loving the intensity of every game, man. This has been fun to watch so far.
This is the best, one of the better NBA playoffs I've watched in probably over 10 years. So it's not even close. Like last year's playoffs was great too, but this one's even better. We don't have LeBron, which we don't have, Kevin Durant's gone, he's out of it. So we got all new people almost, besides the Warriors.
Yeah, we're getting a chance to see a lot of the young new players, the future stars. Let's move on to the draft. The NFL draft took place. You guys tell us what happened there.
So first overall pick was not surprising at all with Trayvon going first. That wasn't a big surprise at all, but I kind of think it was the wrong pick, and I think a lot of people agree. I think they should have went Aiden Hutchinson if they were going to pick a DN. The most talent overall. The stats aren't even close. The potential's not even close. I don't even know where he came out of. Lower draft grade, everything. I don't understand, but I don't know how you feel about it, Anthony.
I agree. I mean, I was really thinking it was going to be Hutchinson. But man, a lot of people were high up on those Georgia players this year. I mean, it was a record, wasn't it? It was like 15 Georgia people got
I believe so.
Wow.
Yeah, 15. So yeah, they were just high. I mean, I give some of them credit, like Jordan Davis. I think he's probably going to turn out to be a solid defensive player. What's Dean, the linebacker? He has the potential, but first overall, I was, it could prove us wrong, but then again, I mean, we'll just have to see what happens,
What about Arkansas's Treylon Burks?
Big news was Titans giving up their top 10, not even arguably 100% top 10 wide receiver in the whole NFL to traded him to the Eagles for Treylon Burks, essentially.
Yes, is that too much pressure you think for him to handle, or is he going to be able to handle that?
Well, what I loved is did y'all watch draft when they drafted him?
Right.
I didn't. I saw the replay.
So they showed the pick, or they showed the trade, and they were like, AJ Brown's going to the Eagles and yada yada yada. And now the Titans, have their number 1 overall pick and everything, and everyone's just going nuts. Like, what are the Titans doing? Why are they trading AJ Brown? They're obviously their top receiver, and then they get Treylon Burks, and the whole time they're just comparing him. They're like, what kind of receiver is Treylon Burks? And they're like, oh, he's just like AJ Brown. They just keep, saying like how, he's just like AJ Brown. Now, mind you, I know the Titans did get Robert Woods from the Rams, but still, I mean, we'll just have to see. We'll have to see if that was a smart decision on the Titans or not. I mean, I love Treylon Burks. I'm an Arkansas guy, so we'll just have to see what happens.
Well, they just didn't want to pay him. He wanted $100 million. They didn't want to give him that $100 million. There's a few teams in the NFL right now and not wanting to pay their wide receivers. Deebo Samuel's one of them where he wants to get paid, and they won't extend him right now. So we're giving that.
He wants to get paid wide receiver money and running back money because they use them as both.
Which he should, in my opinion. I mean, he's doing both. He had the second most scrimmage yards, not to stray away from the draft. But.
Don't request a trade like he does and go to a team that they just use him as a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just going to get that wide receiver money anyway.
Yeah, I'm curious though, what happened to our basketball player Wade? Did he get drafted?
No.
What's his first D? What is it?
Trey Wade.
Trey Wade. I was drawing a blank there, and I should have got that. Traylon and Trey.
He might get signed to a practice squad team. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Another surprise for me in the draft was Evan Neal. Yeah, falling to the 7th pick. Giants had a phenomenal draft, in my opinion. So
they're gonna need it, I think.
Yeah.
Who y'all feel had the best draft?
Oh, I mean, I personally thought the Giants did, just off that Evan O'Neal with the how you pronounce it? Thibodeau? I can't. Thibodeau, something like that. He was the consensus number 1 for so long before the season ended, and he kind of fell off a little bit because he didn't do what everyone was expecting. But getting both of those players was huge for them. So,
what about Tom Brady? How did his team fare? How did they?
I think it was okay. It wasn't like nothing to write home about. Their first pick, which was in the 2nd round.
Right.
They got that kid from what's his name? No, he's from Houston. I remember that much. Every time I would check on my phone the 2nd round, he was like the first one, of course, because it was the first pick in the 2nd round. Other than that, I mean, they got a punter. That's always a good pick.
Logan Hall, in Houston. That's a good guy, right?
Yeah.
For me personally, like you guys know I'm a Steelers fan. Love the Steelers. I was finally happy that they did get the quarterback first round. That Kenny Pickett from Pitt, which to me is like, if that can turn out to be something, that's just one of the greatest stories. You go to Pittsburgh, you want to play with Pittsburgh, or you go to college in Pittsburgh, you want to play with Pittsburgh, and you're drafted first round by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah. Are they rebuilding, or is that what it's going to take? Or what's happening in Pittsburgh? I mean, I don't see them doing any worse or any better per se. They're going to need some things, I think. Do you just start over or what?
Not really. I mean, they do need some. Obviously, they need a quarterback. I know they did, get Trubisky in the offseason, which, he's not your
stud.
I'm hoping Kenny Pickett comes out and just balls out like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll just have to see. All this is just kind of like, let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? They did get rid of Juju. Juju went to Kansas City. They still got Chase. They still got Deontay. They still got James. Is James Washington still there? I think he is still there. Najee turned out to be a great pick. He had a great.
Wait, Nick doesn't agree.
No, I
with
agree.
that.
No, I agree.
Oh, okay. I saw his head shaking there.
I thought back to my fantasy draft last year where I for some reason didn't see him on the draft board and could have had him and Derrick Henry as my running back duo. Yeah, I kind of messed up on that one. You said it just nightmares just came back in my head. So.
For a rookie, he had an amazing season. Season. The one thing I wish they would have kind of focused a little more on. I know we needed a quarterback. We still got some decent receivers. Our defense, is on lock with Fitzpatrick and TJ Watt. The offensive line, I wish they would have kind of worked a little more on, because they did lose a lot the year before last in the offensive line. What I saw last year in their offensive line, I mean, wasn't anything to write home about, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
But the team that surprised me during this there was 2 teams. There was 2 teams. The Jets,
right,
and the Eagles. Not just because they got AJ Brown, just because what they got, and they got Jordan Davis, They got that big center from Nebraska, that Cam Jurgens, and they got Nakobe Dean, the linebacker from Georgia. So that's like 3 players right there that that possible could, turn around team. Plus, you still have Jalen Hurts and you got AJ Brown now.
Yeah.
And then just went on they had some picks.
I think Jalen Hurts is going to be a top fantasy pick next year. So.
Oh, for real. Yeah.
He was surprisingly one of the best fantasy quarterbacks, at least for the first 12 games for sure. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm already excited for fantasy. So
Jets, I'm picking Trey Wade as my first pick on my fantasy team. On my first NFL team ever.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, that's
Jets. They got Sauce Gardner, quarterback from Mississippi, 4th overall pick. Then they turned around with the 10th pick, got Garrett Wilson from Ohio State, wide receiver. Then with the 26th pick, they got Jermaine Johnson, the 2nd defensive end from Florida State. And then to top off their pick in the 2nd round, they got Breece Hall, stud running back from Iowa State. So, I mean, they picked some players that could impact their team a lot.
And it never fails. There's always those 2 or 3 players that come out of nowhere to surprise everybody too in the NFL draft and make an impact on teams that you never would have guessed. Did anybody like that to you stand out that might be somebody that, hey, no, he's overlooked?
Yeah. I can't remember his name. No, seriously, there was a running back that I was like, just give me a second. There was a running back that I was just like, this kid, like, I think it could be some. I mean, Breece Hall from Iowa State. That was the kid that I thought should have been a 1st round pick. Because he is like at Iowa State, he was just a stud. Yeah,
and some people, the thing is, though, coming from college to pros, it's such a big eye-opening, like just awakening to these kids, and some of them can adjust to the talent level of the NFL and get lost in the shuffle. It's so hard because you see so many great players come through these drafts, and 5 years later, they're not playing anywhere. A lot of these top drafts, and I'm seeing that lately. It's those lower draft picks that are longevity, that have the longevity for some reason in the last recent years. So I think because, like you've said before, the talent level is so great across the board now. It's not just one conference like it used to be. The Big Ten, the SEC. I mean, the talent level is so great. I think it's almost impossible to pick somebody other than, of course, the quarterback position or, the speed of a wide receiver or the bulk of a running back. I really, to me, I didn't see just great standout players that I'm like, this guy's definitely gonna. I think all of them have the equal amount of a chance in the top 10 to me. That's just me.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't like real exciting draft, I guess you would say, like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah, but you just never know. I mean, like, I was talking to a buddy of mine during the draft, and we were talking about, of course, he's a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, and we were talking about how since the Dallas Cowboys drafted Roy Williams, the safety from OU back in, like, I think it was like 2003, they haven't drafted a safety, first top 3 rounds since. And I was like, no, that can't be right. And I kept looking, and he was right. And it was just crazy how they just don't draft safeties. But I was looking over their draft classes, and everything. And some of the players that, that would be drafted like 6th or 7th round, that actually turned out to be, like some of their great players.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy how that works out.
You also see players that play that safety position a lot of times are moved from other positions to safety, and they take over the safety. I've seen that quite a bit. Just the speed is the number one thing that people are so enamored with now when you're looking at athletes, at least on the backfield or the safety or the coverage area of the defense. Now, speed number one seems to be the number one thing, right?
Right. Which is just because of how fast wide receivers are nowadays. They're so much faster than they used to be, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Even, you got DK Metcalf, who is huge, but can, run faster than most of the safeties out there. A few years ago when he caught up to Buda Baker, who's supposed to be one of the fastest players in the league, and ran him down after an interception. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. So much fun to watch these young guys with this speed. I'm waiting for somebody to run a 3.9 soon.
Right.
Everyone is so fast. Used to have just a few handful of players that were that fast. Not everybody's fast like that. It's crazy.
Now you have those like 6'6", 370 something pound linemen, offensive linemen, and they'll
chasing down the quarterback. Yeah.
They'll have like a 4.8, 4.40. You're like,
yes. I think that could change the game in the future too, if it continues that way with the athletic people, because you're going to have to go from that stationary quarterback like Brady that just wants to sit in the pocket and not really a scrambler. I think you're going to start to have some more athletic quarterbacks that can do more than just throw or run 2 or 3 yards and get rid of the ball. What do you think? Is the game going to evolve, or can that stationary pocket quarterback still exist in today's game?
I think they're going to play more like Mahomes, where he has the threat. Like, he does have the threat to run, but he's going to be able to stay in the pocket too. I think it's going to be both. I mean, it will evolve to where, like Lamar Jackson and stuff, but I think, I don't think it'll evolve that much to the point where we're going to just get completely rid of those quarterbacks. So
yeah. All right, guys, let's
sorry.
Oh, no, you go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say Patrick Mahomes is like the staple right now for quarterbacks when it comes to coming into the league, who gives both. So that's all I would say.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree 100% with Nick, because I think that with how fast, like, especially defensive line is now, like, you could be a nose tackle, be 6'3", 340 pounds, but still run like a 4.7, 4.6 40.
Mm-hmm.
And you just bust through the line.
Right.
You're going to need some mobility. Obviously, you're not going to have like a Peyton Manning that just can't run at all, really. But I think the whole mobility quarterback, if that was really going to become a thing, people would have done that back in the early 2000s with Michael Vick. When they saw what Michael Vick did, because Michael Vick was just, he was unhuman. As fast as he was, his arm and everything. He just unfortunately, got into a lot of trouble, kind of shortened his career. But I think then, if they were like, well, look what this guy's doing. We need to do that. I think that would have changed it back then. But I think teams are probably going to go more towards like, Justin Herbert and maybe even, Russell Wilson to me is kind of a prime example of like the quarterback that you need. You don't need him to be super fast, but you need him to be, that can drop back in that pocket and scramble to your left, to your right enough to, hit that open receiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Major League Baseball. We're early in the season. Tell us what's happening there, Anthony.
Well, let's see here. The Cardinals won today. They're starting their series with the Royals. So I always like to call it the Show Me Showdown because Missouri against Missouri. So they won that today with a solo home run from Goldie, his second one of the year, or his second home run of the year, excuse me. In this past week, they struggled against the Diamondbacks, which was pretty. I mean, I know you can't win every game, but it's pretty upsetting because Diamondbacks, just are not the greatest, organization right now. But they did get beat. They did lose a series against the Mets, which they're the team right now. I know like the Yankees have, about the same record, and the Dodgers are up there, and everything, but the Mets are they're firing on all cylinders right now.
Mm-hmm.
They did just release Robinson Cano, just because he wasn't producing pretty much. And then, but now the Cardinals are still, Arenado still playing really good. Wainwright and Yachty got another start together to, go for that battery record. Still early in the season. So, we got a lot of baseball to play. And
A lot of bad calls. A lot of bad calls, too, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what these umpires look at. I don't know where the strike zone is half the time because,
Well, the MLB I just saw they released an evaluation on Alex Hernandez game, the Phillies Brewers game, where he missed 19 calls behind the plate and only had 85% correct, and also has the league high of missing a call by 6.5 inches off the plate.
Wow.
They scored him a 96% grade for that game, with the average being 94% this season. So they gave him above average scoring for that game after that horrendous game he called. I think he called 6 batters out off strikes that were not even close to the plate. So I think I don't know, this is a talk. I think they need to go to the robotic umpiring behind the plate. Like, still have him there, but they need to make it more accurate, in my opinion, because it's just the umpires are ruining the game for me. So
yeah, if you can have the box on screen, why can't you have that in the stadium? You know what I'm saying? You can tell how fast it goes. You can tell where it goes, the angle, where it's going to go with today's technology. Why can't you have a digital umpire?
I think they need to take the box off the TV because it upsets me.
Right.
I watch the game because I'm like, it's the same pitch. It's in the same place. Come on. Like, if you just call that a strike, you literally just call that a strike,
Yeah, Angel Hernandez is the worst umpire in the league. He there's just no one close. I don't know why he's still in the league. Well, the union, but he doesn't deserve to be in the league. So
Nick, what was the rule that you told me about licking your hand? What is this?
2 weeks ago, I can't pronounce his name. I can't remember it or pronounce it very well. He was lit. So you can't be on the rubber and lick your hand. It basically will count
on the pitcher's mound.
Right.
Okay.
On the pitcher's mound. One of the worst rules in baseball. You can do it when you're not on the rubber, but if you step on the rubber and lick your hand, I can't remember if it's just a balk or if they just call it ball. But
why
balk? That'd be a little much.
I think it's just a ball. They just call it ball, but that basically someone got a free base because at that point, because there's a 3-2 count and they called a ball, so he got on base. And I think someone scored off of it. The bases were loaded, I believe. So, and guess who made that call?
Oh no,
Angel Hernandez. He was the one who called that, by the way.
I did see the umpire on the Diamondbacks series. It was the first game. I can't remember his name. I wish I could remember his name. But his strikeout calls are some of the best I've ever seen. They were like Rocky Balboa uppercuts. I mean,
Yeah, I think I like the interject umpires. They make the game fun actually. So I don't like some of the guys that just sit back there and just kind of like you're out.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question. This is one of those you're gonna have to think about for a minute. What would be your walk-up song if you was a professional baseball player? Walking up to bat. Everyone has their song. Everyone has their song that they play. Some people you're like, what are they thinking about? Like the other day, Joey Votto, his walk-up song was "Fancy." Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like, what would your walk-up song be? And everyone's listening to this, comment below. Like, what would you feel like would be a good walk-up song or a good walk-up song for yourself?
Since I am not a great baseball player, I only played 1 year my whole life as a kid, unless you want to count men's softball league. I think mine would be Another One Bites the Dust, because that's what would happen with me. I'm more likely to get hit by the pitch than I am to hit and get on base.
Yeah. What about you, Nick?
It would be this one would be funny. It'd be Frank Sinatra. The Six Rocky movie walkout song. What is it? What's it called?
My Way?
No. It's another was Rubber Tree Plant. Oops, there goes another Rubber Tree Plant. I can't remember the name of the song, but I would do that just to be funny. To be funny. Throw them off.
Me, I thought about this. I came down to two songs. One would be Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla. Never heard of it. Check it out. You'll understand why I picked it. The second one would be towards the tail end of this song, but it's a song by Limp Bizkit called Break Stuff. Because there's to the tail end of the song, there's a part of it that really has this build up. And it's like when you're coming to bat, when you're coming up to the plate, you want that intimidating song. You want that like, hey, I'm here to, crush your dreams. Like I'm here to do that. Like Mark McGuire came out to Welcome to the Jungle by, Guns N' Roses, and I thought that was like the coolest thing I ever heard.
What's the one from the movie Major League that he came out to? Charlie Sheen. Wild Thing. That's what I couldn't think of it.
Yeah, Wild Thing by the Frogs. And coming from like that was my kind of more my era, like as a kid, And I remember watching that movie and being like, that was my fantasy. To like, it didn't matter if it was in the majors, if it was in college, high school, just to be like, oh, okay, like we need to stop right here. Bring up Sanchez, bring him up, and you come up from the bullpen, and they just start playing Wild Thing. Like that is like, that was my fantasy. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. There is the buzzer. We are out of time again for another great week right here. Great show, guys. Next week, we'll talk more NBA playoffs. Of course, whatever happens in the news, be here. We'll tell you all about it right here. Thanks a lot, Anthony. Thanks a lot, Nick. We are all three brothers, the Sanchez Entertainment Channel. We'll see you back here next week for another great episode.
And just remember, if you ain't first, you last.